mean, half the country is moping, half can't stop gloating. Enough! It's Christmas and you will act like it. 'Tis the season and all that. I don't want to read any more articles like the one about the loving county sheriff in Ohio who posted on Facebook before the election, "If you support the Democratic Party, I will not help you." Well, thank you for your service, worst responder.
There's a special kind of irony in watching people who preach empathy suddenly cancel Christmas because someone in their house voted the wrong way, and that's exactly why Bill Maher stepped into the conversation with a monologue so sharp it sliced straight through the noise of the culture war. His message was simple: stop turning the holidays into political punishment season. But the way he delivered it is what made the internet explode.
There's even a trend now among liberal women of wearing blue bracelets to signal that they're Kamala voters and therefore safe to approach and talk to, because God forbid you fall into some checkout line chit-chat with, gasp, a Republican. And many young women are now also pledging never to have sex with any man who voted for Trump. Really? That's your big plan? Embargoing the...
Maher starts by pointing out something everyone feels, but nobody wants to say out loud. Half the country is sulking, the other half can't stop gloating. And somehow both sides believe they're the wounded party. It's the kind of emotional meltdown that turns a season meant for peace into a season overwhelmed by grudges.
I get it, that for the Democrats, this was a brutal loss. But the plan to deal with it has to be something better than stay in a snit and take advantage of this magical time of year to cut people off. Oh, gee, not having to buy you a present, that'll teach him.
For Maher, this wasn't just annoying, it was embarrassing. According to him, if adults can't act like adults during Christmas, maybe they shouldn't be lecturing anyone else on how to fix the world. He highlights an article proudly announcing, "My husband voted differently, so I'm canceling Thanksgiving and Christmas." And his response is brutal in its simplicity. "Not buying you a present? That'll teach him." That comedic slap opened the door for everything else he was about to expose, and what followed was a tour through some of the most bizarre, self-inflicted holiday chaos imaginable.
Think about that, a mental health professional advising people to isolate during the holidays. And don't forget to drink too much and put on weight. And this Thanksgiving, before the big meal, remember to take turns saying what you're hateful about. You know who I really wouldn't want to have Thanksgiving dinner with? This overly educated, i.e. extremely stupid, ivory tower academic. But I would, because if we ever want this nation to heal, this is what we have to do. Force ourselves to reach out and find out why someone feels the way they do and make the choices they make without prejudging them a monster. And they must do the same for you.
The wildness begins with the trend Maher can hardly believe is real. Certain politically motivated women wearing blue bracelets to signal they're safe to talk to, as if normal human interaction now requires political clearance. And it gets worse. Many young women are proudly declaring they refuse to date anyone who supported a political figure they despise. Not because their personalities clash, not because of incompatible values, not because of deeper concerns, just a single vote years ago. One ballot, and suddenly, someone becomes unworthy of conversation, let alone a relationship. Maher practically laughs through the punchline. This isn't empowerment. It's an elaborate way of guaranteeing loneliness. But he doesn't stay on the dating meltdown for long, because the next story he brings up is the one that truly shattered the woke bubble. A viral Free Press article about a liberal Brooklyn couple who moved upstate and found themselves surrounded by neighbors who supported the political figure they disliked. Their fear was dramatic, almost theatrical, until reality hit in the form of a brutal snowstorm. Their car got stuck, they needed help, and who showed up first? The very neighbor they were afraid of. No political interrogation, no purity test, no ideological hostility. Just a person helping another person in trouble. The author admitted the experience forced her to confront her own prejudice. Her neighbors weren't monsters. They were simply people. Maher responds with a line that set the internet on fire. It's almost like there are fine people on both sides. The crowd roared. Clips circulated everywhere and predictable outrage followed. But Maher wasn't talking about ideology, he was talking about humanity. From there, Maher pivots to something more disturbing: stories of people refusing to help others in emergencies because of politics. He calls out a sheriff who allegedly said he wouldn't help residents who supported a different political party, roasting him as a worst responder. Then, he cites a FEMA supervisor who reportedly told workers not to help homes with political signs they didn't like after a hurricane. Maher's point lands hard. If disaster relief is now partisan, we've crossed into deeply dangerous territory. He isn't defending one side or attacking the other. He's condemning extremism wherever it festers. But the most shocking meltdown he addresses doesn't come from activists. It comes from a mental health professional. Maher brings up a Yale psychiatrist who went on national television telling people it's acceptable, even healthy, to cut off family members over political disagreements during the holidays. Maher roasts her mercilessly, calling her overeducated, meaning extremely stupid. But beneath the comedy is real alarm. When experts begin encouraging ideological purging, the message is no longer about mental well-being. It's about tribalism. In Maher's view, once psychiatrists are handing out permission slips for social isolation based on politics, something foundational has broken. These are the people meant to guide us toward healing, not push us deeper into division. Maher then shifts toward the media's role in all of this. Every major outlet packages stories for outrage because outrage is profitable. Every headline is a cliffhanger designed to raise blood pressure. Every disagreement becomes a national emergency. And the sad part, Maher notes, is that the holiday season, traditionally the one time we all get a break from the noise, has become yet another stage for ideological performances. Instead of peppermint lattes and ugly sweaters, it's fear-mongering, doom-scrolling, and political anxiety. This, Maher warns, is how a society fractures. He slams home the point with comedic history. If the Native Americans could sit down at Thanksgiving with people who were literally going to take their land, you can sit next to Uncle Cletus for 2 hours. It's exaggerated, yes, but the message is razor sharp. We're acting like being in the same room with someone who views the world differently is equivalent to a human rights violation. Meanwhile, history is full of far more severe tensions than a relative with questionable opinions at Christmas dinner. He compares these holiday conversations to assembling furniture without instructions, frustrating, awkward, full of moments where you question your life choices, but still worth doing, because connection matters more than discomfort, because community matters more than ego, because a society that stops talking is a society that stops functioning. And yet Maher points out some activists are pushing even further into absurdity. Blue bracelets announcing political tribe, dating bans over single votes, people publicly bragging about cutting off family because of political disagreements. None of this leads to justice. None of this leads to progress. What it leads to is isolation, loneliness, and a shrinking world where only those who agree with you are allowed in. And the more people shrink their world, Maher argues, the more they shrink their happiness. Maher ends with a message that hits harder than any joke. Holidays exist to pull people together. They aren't rewards for ideological alignment. They aren't punishments for political differences. They are reminders that no matter how divided the country becomes, family and community must remain sacred. He challenges viewers to talk to people they disagree with, to listen without assuming the worst, to resist turning politics into a religion, and to keep Christmas bigger than the culture war. Because if we lose the ability to sit with each other, even just once a year, then the divide wins, and the country loses something far more important than an election cycle. So the real question becomes this: are we really willing to throw away relationships, holidays, and entire traditions because someone checked a different box years ago? Or is it finally time to admit that our shared humanity matters more than our political tribes? If you found this breakdown eye-opening, hit the like button, subscribe for more deep dives like this, and drop a comment. Should people ever cut off family over politics? Or has the culture war gone way too far? Your thoughts help shape the next video. And this conversation isn't ending anytime soon.